what I found really interesting, especially in Rio, is the diversity of people who are Brazilian. So we had a spectrum of people from, from your complexion to mine and everything in between and everything around. And I found that really fascinating that these people could be one nation and united in, in their culture. Because here we are all sort of foreigners and coming to London, where we sort of make up the landscape of London as
to tolerate our differences.
But what I found really interesting is from, I was really in awe of, wow, look at the Brazilian. People thought I was Brazilian, and if you were with me, they would think you were Brazilian as well. But then when I spoke a bit more in detail to people, they were, to Brazilian people, I have to say, they were quite keen to point out to me what happens behind the scenes of what, that sort of shape that I see from the outside as a foreigner. And as an insider, them as being Brazilians, they could tell me like the inside stories of the differences of races over there, like even some sort of racism that we don't get to see as foreigners. We see a lot of people, we see the samba, we see the football. But there are different layers of the society in Brazil, and I found that really interesting to actually get to more of an inside information of behind the scenes. But something that I experienced as well, going from, for example, from Rio, where you had this massive diversity, going to Salvador, which is the second biggest city, if you like, or maybe not quite, but Salvador used to be the capital of Brazil. And there you have a majority of African descent Brazilians.
Okay.
And the town itself is completely different. It is much older, and the buildings, and you can see the city hasn't been really developed economically as well as Rio or Sao Paulo or Brasilia. And the poverty, if you like, is a bit more apparent. You can see the population is completely different. And I found that, although that's probably worth to do more research about that there must be something in there, that we need to sort of explore. And when I was speaking to the Bahian people in Salvador de Bahia, well, the culture is slightly different than in Rio or Sao Paulo, and people, even the Brazilians, you could see that they were slightly different. People, the Brazilians that I met who were not from Bahia, maybe from Rio or Sao Paulo, and they are a little bit like me, in terms of being a foreigner to that sort of region. Does that make sense? Because they have a different culture. It's really rooted into the slavery and their history and things like that.